What's going on, guys? So this video, we're going to be talking about, or we're going to be looking at the performance of the London time range model. Okay, so we're going to be looking at whether your success is guaranteed or not. Now, I trust that you guys have gone ahead and done the testing, done the live testing, back testing, every single type of testing that exists, right? So I hope you guys have done that. So I'm going to be going over one trade, or rather one scenario, okay? And what you're going to do is you're then going to be extrapolating what I'm saying into your own studies, okay? So what I talk about today, in today's video, you will be using in your studies and in your live trading when you are trading the London time range model, okay? Right, so as you all know, for the newcomers, here are the foundational rules. The following are the base rules for the London time range model, with the added layer. Oopsie, there's a spelling mistake there, but it's okay. This is an uncut version, right? So there's an added layer of the London fractal dealing range, right? So anything above the 12:36 a.m. EST opening price is premium, and anything and everything below the 12:36 a.m. EST, Eastern Standard Time, opening price is discount, okay? And the time range that you're looking at is between 2:30 EST in the morning, AM EST, and 4:30 AM EST. So that's the time range in which you are going to be looking for price to conduct one of, or rather to activate one of its two main functions. The first function being to raid buy side or sell side liquidity, and the second function being to fill in an imbalance in the marketplace. The fractal dealing range is then used. So you are looking at the fractal dealing range between 3:10 a.m. EST and 3:30 a.m. EST, okay, Eastern Standard Time. And a breakout above the dealing range is considered to be bullish, and a breakout below the dealing range is considered to be bearish. Now, if you're going to be following this from a completely mechanical standpoint, you're going to have some skewed results. Sometimes it's going to be a 100% win rate, sometimes it's going to be a 50% win rate, but on average, it's going to be 70% and above, okay? Now, if you're going to add an extra layer by adding some by adding a discretionary aspect as well, right? Liquidity is here, liquidity is there, basically framing some sort of narrative, because we all know that the framing of a narrative itself is kind of subjective, okay? You have to be right. So in order to be right in terms of narrative, I have my fractal liquidity sequentials and my fractal time theory. So that's like a completely separate thing that's only reserved for one-on-ones at this point, because I'm shifting from community-based teaching to one-on-one based teaching, right? So you can frame a narrative using those approaches, okay? But if you want to do it yourself, you're going to have to stick with what you already know in terms of where you are in your trading knowledge, okay? Right, so here's a chart review of the 27th of September 2023. It was a Wednesday. I didn't really look at the date, but I just caught a glimpse of it while I was making this. So this is a trade that I took as well, so I remember it really well. As you can see, the blue line, the top blue line, okay, this one, and the bottom one, that represents the highest high or the highest closing price inside of the London fractal dealing range. And the lowest one is the lowest closing price of the London fractal dealing range, okay? And you can see that right here, we closed below it, and then price retraced back into it, inducing this and also going into a point of redelivered rebalance, which is a variant of a fair value gap that belongs to none other than this man right here, okay? Now, when price kind of went back up there, you took a sell over here, you are operating under the assumption that, okay, fine, liquidity has been taken out, price has gone down, we're breaking out of the dealing range to the downside, so there's an 80% plus probability that price is not going to go above this level, okay? Now, in case it does, because now there are some instances in which price goes there and this immediately jabs back down. That's fine. That's in case of a situation in which that point is actually a rejection block, because remember, look, we're looking at the closing price, so it could be a rejection block as well, that if there is a situation that arises that makes it a rejection block, okay? So there are instances like that, but if you actually study this and if you actually see enough variations of this play out, it should be very easy for you. And there are also going to be instances in which you see that the London fractal dealing range kind of whipsaws as well. Now, the only reason why in which price will whipsaw the London fractal dealing range is if price has not done its function, which is what? To raid liquidity or fill in a gap. Okay, so a stop fund or a manipulated range, my manipulated range, at one point, it should have done one of these functions of price. Okay, if it hasn't done that so far, that is when the London fractal dealing range can kind of whipsaw it. Okay, but once it whipsaws and once it finally breaks out in a certain direction, you have to check and see whether the function has been done or not, whether the function has been executed or not. So during that whipsaw, did price actually hit a level? If so, then okay, follow the bearish breakout, and then everything will work out as planned. And you can keep your stop loss still above this area, and it should be safe because that 80% chance or the 80% probability will still work out. Okay. Right. So that is all about the chart review. So you're going to be using this information in your back testing as well. And now, the mentorship enrollment process, the one-on-ones. Okay. What you're going to do is you're going to directly DM me on my Instagram or my company Instagram, or you can directly DM me on my Telegram as well. Okay. Now what you're going to do is you're going to address your issues. So you're going to be talking about your issues, any issue that you might have in your trading, inconsistency, struggling to stick to a model, psychology issues, you name it, any issue that you might have. Okay. And if I can help you, I will give you an offer. Okay. You get an offer with the choice of a payment plan, right? And then the onboarding process will begin. And then the learning will begin on a weekly basis, in which I check in on you every week, at the end of every week, to ensure that you are indeed progressing. Okay. And the way that this is going to go is you're going to be having sessions with me, and you're going to have access to the community and all that for 6 months. So the end goal that I'm looking for at the end of the 6-month period of you learning and of you growing and making progress is I want to see you funded, maybe max funded, maybe semi-max funded, maybe half of the max funding. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, so that I help you make your life easy. Okay, so that's it. I'll see you in the next one. Good luck and good trading. Bye-bye.